Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 between zNation and Quantic. We are casting the West Qualifiers, and this is day number 1. Two teams have gone back-to-back, Virtus Pro versus MTW. If you want to resolve those games, definitely check in the VODs. A lot of people have been casting them. Right now, we're in game number 2 of zNation versus Quantic, as Quantic in game number 1 had a massive morphling, and I'm sure zNation right now is thinking, do we ban the morph? And they don't.
I wonder, oftentimes I think I see what's going to happen here. I'm sure zNation is thinking, well, we'll ban Morphling in the second phase, and I would not at all be surprised to see Quantic grab Morphling in the first phase now on their third. I mean, it's just such a powerful, important hero for them. Korok plays it so amazingly well. I think zNation are a little greedy here, trying to wait to the second ban phase to try and ban it, and I think it's a poor choice. I would not at all be shocked to see Quantic just grab it immediately. Now, that said, there's a Darkseer in this pool yet again. And Quantic, they go ahead and grab the Windrunner first, so they're just gladly going to give away the Darkseer. They really didn't have any trouble with it last game.
Neither team is respecting the power of Darkseer. It's very odd.
Yeah, well, I mean, Quantic was the one who gave it away last game as well.
Right.
But Quantic went ahead and first picking, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, first picking Windrunner, you're not even opting to go for the Darkseer. I mean, you can waveform into a, you can vacuum into a waveform. That does damage, That's a thing you can do.
That's some damage, yes.
That's some damage. zNation, not sure if they actually want it here. They're waiting patiently on their first pick, so perhaps we're not going to see a Darkseer.
I mean, if you pick Darkseer, I feel like you got to pick something else that goes along with it. Something more than a Queen of Pain. Like, you need a Black Hole, you need a Ravage, something that really takes good advantage of that vacuum. But also, we saw from game number 1, Quantic's positioning is all over the place, and that's why they didn't ban it. Wow, zing! Earlier, when you said that they didn't ban the Morphling, I remember an interesting conversation that we had recently, I think like just a couple of nights ago, where we talked about it's so good to actually play such a good hero that it's not currently ban-worthy, but because you're so good with it, teams have to ban it because you're good. So G-Storm is the hero that we talked about specifically, but also applies to Korok's Morphling.
Yeah, when you're that good with a non-regular Dota hero, a hero that doesn't get banned a lot in the first ban phase, then you force your opposing team to kind of waste a ban, if you will, on a hero that they're not used to being forced to ban. Now, zNation should go ahead and just instantly pick it, so they go with the pick ban by way of just picking it themselves.
That's
now,
a legitimate way to deal with it.
Oh, definitely. And if you can play it well, if you have a good Morphling player, then absolutely, by all means, do that. The question here is, what's Quantic going to do about it? Do they know the solution for the Morphling? I mean, clearly they play it a lot, so obviously they understand what it has troubles with, I would guess. Though apparently Korok's Morphling doesn't have trouble with anything.
I mean, he died a couple of times.
Although he runs through all the ladies.
He did. Let's move on with that analogy. Apparently everyone in chat thought I was high when I was going on with that one. But it seems like the Morphling pick has, confused Quantic a little bit. Now they're taking a little bit of time. Now,
used a lot of bonus time, actually.
Quantic in the past have played heroes like Brewmother and Tiny as kind of their other go-to heroes. The roster, the hero roster, it's not known for diversity. A lot of interview asked them about why do you pick the same heroes, and to their response is, hey, if the same picks works, we'll keep picking them until people actually make us pick differently. So
that's a good point. And we see immediately the Panda being picked up here, or the Brewmaster rather, which of course does give them the potential to put a Lich in middle with that Brewmaster, which will give him a much better lane than he had the first game.
Yep.
Anyway, with Lich is infinitely stronger. We're going to see a Brewmother here from zNation, so perhaps the plan is, well, you're going to have a Lich and you're going to try and, just get to the late game and try and turtle it out. We're just going to push you with a Brewmother.
I'm not liking zNation's pick in the sense that Brewmother likes to do her own thing. We know that. We talked to death almost about that point. Morphling, kind of the same thing. She wants to do his own thing. And suddenly, if Quantic decides to do a 5-man push, I feel like zNation is not capable, or the hero is not capable to defend something like that. So, I don't know. And Morphling actually takes a while to get going. Unless you're Korok, I guess.
Let's see. So you got a Broodmother at top, you have a Morphling bottom, maybe with like a Crystal Maid and Enigma in jungle, and you can grab like a Tinker. Tinker Crystal Maid may give you enough anti-push to perhaps prevent them from just pushing in, if they want to. So I think zNation has some options here. We see a Shadow Demon ban from Quantic. kind of respecting that. An SA ban yet again from zNation. Actually, the last game, I believe, Quantic picked Morphling and banned SA, so both teams understand that SA quite strong against the Morphling here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind that the anti-mage is, one of the heroes that brought to the downfall of Morphling. Morphling was the carry hero of choice, I think about a year ago, and then anti-mage came in because the ability to burn the mana, and because Morphling has such a high mana pool, when he does burn out that mana void, there's so much AoE damage that we've seen anti-mage in the past get ultra kills off that one mana void. So it won't be too surprising if Quantic bring it in here. They do have their big Tiny. We haven't seen it here yet, and it might be a possible choice. Although Tiny against Morphling, I'm not too sure whether that's a favorable matchup to the Tiny. But we'll see in just a bit what Quantic is actually going to pick with.
Yeah, we see a Crystal Maiden being picked up here, so they've got plenty. They've got plenty of support. I mean, between the Lich and the Crystal Maiden, they've got enough slow to go around, and they can put either one in lane with that Panda. I assume it's going to be middle with the Lich, but they could easily solo Lich actually on that bottom lane. Though I expect Windrunner to go there. But they could do that, so they've got, let's see, Lich Panda in middle, Windrunner bottom, and perhaps a Crystal Maiden up top with another hero. Or they do the opposite and put Lich up top and have Crystal Maiden in the middle with that Panda.
The laning versatility for Quantic is so high.
Yes.
Meanwhile, zNation, they have some versatility as well. The long lane can be taken up by the Broodmother or the Enigma. Most likely the Broodmother in this case. Morphling probably going to go on the bot lane, although we have seen dual lane mid with Morphling before. Venomancer is the pick. zNation's kind of picking everything that Quantic's got. Aside from the Broodmother, they got the Venomancer, the Enigma, as well as the Morph. But let's see if they could play as well as Quantic did last game. I mean, the supporting cast for Quantic, they did die a couple more times, but every time they died, Morphling got 2 kills out of it. So it was never felt like they are on the back foot of things. And Storm Spirit, from Quantic. This is a very spicy pick. Going to give him a lot of stuns and mobility against the Morphling. I think we might see something like an Orchid Rush.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you silence the Morphling, he can't wave, he can't morph, he just goes down very quickly. He loses a lot of that survivability aspect that you think of so often when you see him morph. This also gives him a lot of initiation. Obviously, you can pick off Enigmas. Now, the problem here is Malefice is also quite strong against Storm Spirit himself, but you can ball pass, of course, or zip pass rather than pull Enigma when he tries to use a black hole from pretty much any position, of course. Broodmother as well, he can slow those pushes down just a little bit with his remnants. And the Venomancer, while decent against Storm Spirit, does also have problems surviving. So I think this is a pretty good pick here.
Yep. Let's see how zNation is going to round it out. My worry is the counter pushing, and Puck does actually help quite a bit of that. Of course, the silence is very, very key against a lot of these heroes, especially against that Panda and Storm Spirit. I mean, with Dreamcore and Silence, with ample amount of slows and stuns coming from zNation, they could nuke down the Storm Spirit with relative ease. The problem with zNation's lineup is they need so much experience points, and I think that automatically forces WeGod, who's playing Enigma, to go into the jungle. Nexus, by the way, support Shadow Demon last game is going to be going on Venomancer here. We have Staliner, who played the Night Stalker last game, on Puck. CRZ, who went godlike, was Queen of Pain, now on the Morphling, and Sadoy on that Broodmother.
Yeah, so CRZ is going to try and flex his muscles with Morphling. We'll see how well that goes. Mikey, of course, is going to be playing that Vengeful Spirit up top with Korok, who's going to be playing the Storm Spirit on the solo protected lane here. That is going to put Painted Gold's Panda yet again in middle. This time he's going to have Last Hit Magic's Lich with him, though, which is going to be much more beneficial for him. And, of course, leaves Solara yet again on the Windrunner on that bottom lane.
Yep.
So I think putting Storm Spirit in that top lane, you mentioned this before with heroes like Shadow Fiend and Tinker, squishy intel heroes that oftentimes were thought of as mid-solo heroes, and players like G will still do that, getting put in the side lane here to have a bit more protection.
Yeah, I feel like over the years, over the months, I suppose, the metagame has really shifted out in the mid lane in terms of what that lane does for you. I remember back in like 6.69 in Dota 1, we saw mid lanes like Doom versus insert another melee that doesn't do anything. Kind of like it's a free farm lane for both teams. So yeah, you farm a guy here, I farm a guy here. But now the metagame has really evolved into as Painigo walks up a hill. I'm not too sure the hell he's thinking. So Usher backed, and after taking a couple of hits. But yeah, the mid lane has really evolved into if you lose the tower mid, like 5 minutes in the game, you're gonna lose so much. And Painigo, the hell is he doing? He's just walking.
Well, he wants to take a bunch of damage.
Maybe he wants to ward. He has the wards up. I was like, why is he going there? He has the wards. Unfortunately,
maybe his plan is to bait out a bunch of casts, and then he can just salve up, and it's like trading salves for mana. Maybe.
Huge Storm at the moment. I don't believe he's talking about his teammate.
No, I think he's probably talking about maybe like the thunder rolling
Yes.
and the lightning striking. I'm actually gonna. Where do you know where they live at? Are they West Coast?
It ain't Southern California because it is all bright over outside.
I'm gonna go to www.weatherchannel.com. Check out North American weather and see where they could be.
Yeah. Expert stalking 101 from
National forecast. Okay, clusters of rain and storms in the northeast. So perhaps they're northeastern.
There you go. I think they are Californian, so perhaps NorCal.
Okay. Well, that's no northeast has nothing to do with Northern Cal. That's a different.
Northeast and Northwest pretty similar.
No, they're really not. In
Okay.
fact, there's about like a 1,000-mile difference there.
Fair enough.
Apparently, Oklahoma's getting some scattered storms today. That's good.
Someone in chat earlier asked your opinion on tonight's game, Spurs and.
I'm so depressed. I don't want to talk about
You
it.
want to talk about it? Okay, well.
We started out so good, 2-0. OKC, unfortunately, their athleticism, they just keep hitting everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, in
You know what
game
it
1
is?
and 2, Spurs they were missing. They could close their eyes and take a shot.
That's
They
the
would.
thing. The thing about it is in game 2, it really started to shift about halfway through that game. You could see, the small ball lineup from OKC really starting to pay dividends. And not just that, like, the biggest problem is that Oklahoma City, I don't think they understand what a bad shot is. They actually think they can make every single shot they take, and because of that, they shoot the ball with such confidence, despite them being awful step-back threes from James Harden that end up just winning games. It's ridiculous. It is an awful shot. Everybody on the team thinks they're Kobe Bryant. With the exception of Kevin Durant, they're not exactly amazing shooters, but they just hit everything. Oh,
So, to summarize, Nebula's not happy.
I'm very unhappy. Incredibly. The two teams I despise the most. I hate the Celtics. I hate the Lakers a lot, obviously. But I hate the Celtics a bunch.
Obviously, yeah. I like how you makes it like a assumed fact.
Well, of course. I mean, the freaking Lakers. The Celtics have so many players that I despise. Like,
didn't they win their game last night?
Yeah, they also. I'm rooting for the Heat in that series just because I cannot stand any of the players on the Celtics. With the exception of Paul Pierce, I hate that entire team. And Oklahoma City has a number of players that I also hate. Russell Westbrook, freaking Kendrick Perkins, James Harden. Like, I can't stand these people. And so I'm very unhappy with how the NBA players are going right now.
Well, Nebula is very emotionally invested. So
Yeah.
hopefully for Nebula's sake, he will be a little bit happier tonight as we're going back to the game.
Going back to OKC is where they're going. Anyway.
Wasn't there a moment where Lumi keeps saying spicy to describe everything?
Spicy?
Spicy.
I guess.
I'm just reading off chat.
I think what you say is losing HP very rapidly.
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 That's your go-to phrase of choice.
Rapidos. I should just throw some Spanish in the middle of a cast.
Rapidos.
If I could roll my tongue, I would, but I can't.
No, mi esto no habla. Mi esto no habla. No.
My
no.
oral skills are quite weak. Can't roll my tongue. Can't whistle. Yep.
Can't speak English.
Can't speak English. That
No
also.
problem.
I haven't leveled up English. I still like level 2.
What a dumb joke. Anyway, while we were paused, yeah, this is the exact same one you did last time. Oh no, you added Infinity this time. Never mind.
Shout out to IX, Mike, Tora Bora, a whole bunch of American players. Blitz.
Infinity, and yeah, we see Slice as well. How do you get Sliced? I used to read that as Doug. How Doug gets sliced?
Oh,
It would be hysterical to me if his name was Doug, and it was
and
like
then you just added. That would be pretty smart.
he was
pretty
like
clever.
hiding his name inside of How Do You Get Sliced. It's a great name, which I think is a reference to brings me to one of my favorite names is How Do You Get Wood. It's one of the classic names from Dota 1, of course. As many people know, the first time you ever played Dota and you looked at all the recipes, you were like, well, how do I get wood? This requires 1 wood. Remember that?
No.
Really?
No.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
The old recipes that had like 1 wood as the... Well, whatever. Anyway.
Double harm shall I heal.
All right,
Ooh,
so...
Puck talking big smack with that double damage rune on
I
bottom.
mean, she has, what, 2 damage 4 now, so still can't last it.
whatever, 106.
Yeah.
Pretty decent here. The double damage is going to be big for her, actually. Puck does have problems with life.
It really is going to be big. You actually can harass Solera off the lane. Yeah, he's going to run at Solera, and Solera's like, well, time to lose lane to a D. He's going to actually win run that one hit.
Big mechanics. That actually doesn't work. Once the attack's in the air, you cannot win run it away, as he learned there by taking the damage.
As well as
boys and
losing
girls,
100 mana.
don't try and win run when the attack's already in the air. It doesn't work.
Now, Phase, though, on the other hand.
No.
Totally works. Yeah, feel free to phase. And in fact,
Phase costs
that's
no
a
mana,
much
so
better
phase a range attack if you want from a creep.
Yeah,
probably
definitely.
not. Anyways, let's look at this mid lane. Where's your money on? Venomancer Morphling against
the
a
Lich.
Lich.
I'm betting on the Lich. Like
I don't
doesn't
know,
matter what
two
the lane
range-
is. Lich is too strong.
Two short range heroes against a long range hero.
And a hero that denies half of the creeps in the lane anyway. So
That's true.
that said, CRZ is getting a decent amount of lasting. He's already 5-4 to Panda's 2-0, so he's actually making up for it by just straight out denying everything. Nexus also 0-1. Meanwhile, in that top lane, we're going to have a Broodmother solo against Korok's Storm Spirit, it looks like. They do have a Sentry Ward up there. Now, Korok wants to pull this lane back a little bit so we can actually have vision of him. That Sentry Ward's a little bit too far away right now. But Sidoi doesn't actually know where that ward is and wants to be a little cautious here, not pushing forward, and he is going to go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, we don't generally see a Storm Spirit controlling the lane against a Broodmother, and now Sidoi kind of knows what that word is, and Mikey ushers him away. Illusion Rune gets picked up here by Nexus, and that might be enough to kill Pain and Go. Lich is on the bot lane trying to secure that rune. It looks like they're going to back off for now. But having these illusions Venomancer not bad in terms of harassing as well as getting the denies off, as those illusions do pack the passive. I do believe that's how it works. So any harass that he's doing, the Poison Sting will be nice.
Yeah. This middle lane's really interesting to me. I think whoever wins this is going to have a pretty firm leg up as far as the laning goes. Meanwhile, Broodmother here is just trying to deny Mikey's pulling here a little bit. I'm not sure who actually got that. Mikey did drop a Crystal Nova, I think, to get that last hit. He's going to go ahead and continue his farm up here. Will we see a Crystal Maiden like we saw in the first match?
I would not think so, but if it happens...
Are we going to see... Look, if you guys haven't watched those VODs and they're up somewhere, please go watch them, as you'll see some big-time Crystal Maiden action. Crystal Maiden, meanwhile, harassing Sidoi. Very happy to just return the favor there, getting a little bit harassed. Of course, he gets decent regen just off the webs itself. Level 2 web, of course, providing 4 regen a second, which is pretty legit. It's a free ring of health, and, well, not quite a free ring of health.
Mikey pops a Clarity. Sidoi sends a Spylings at him and cancels it. Sad life of a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah. Well, until you get a Hex and the Heaven's Halberd and...
You just spoiled it. Jesus.
BOTs, Manta Style, and an Assault Cuirass.
Back in the middle here, they're going on Lasted Magic. Lasted Magic losing HP rapidly, as one would say. And it looks like he has gone down. It looks like he wants a courier as well. Painico is going to back off. So I don't know what money you had on, but you just lost some money, bro.
Yeah. There's Morphling already doing a bit of damage. Now, one thing about the Morphling is he does have a lot of pretty strong damage early on, and if you allow him to hit you multiple times, he will be able to just wait for him and kill you. Morphling is one of those heroes that if the opposing team doesn't respect him, and I'm not saying that in any way that Quantic doesn't respect Morphling, of course, but if the opposing player in the lane doesn't respect the amount of damage you can do, and he allows you to hit him just a couple extra times that he really shouldn't have, you're going to wait for him and get a kill.
Yep.
And it's very easy for a pub Morphling to get a early kill that maybe the opposing team isn't expecting. Now, obviously Quantic plays a lot of Morphling, you understand this, but that said, if he gets a couple attacks, and we're going to see a Venomous Gale, we're going to see a Clap here, a couple attacks, we have a Haste on CRZ, he wants to wait for him this last hit. He's going to probably wait for him down the hill. Oh, actually doesn't quite get there, but he does have the Haste, so it's fine. He's going to go ahead and bottle up here. And yeah, so another kill on Morphling. It's going to do him much good here.
Yeah, I like that you kind of talked about the whole thing, and then we saw it happen. The also good thing is that the Venomancer Gale does provide insane amount of slow, which allows you to get a lot of physical hits in, and because of that, it really sets up that last hit. I mean, you saw Morphling with a haste rate. He was just waiting patiently for that last hit, and he's got it. So now up to 2 kill with the bottle, and we saw an explosive start from Korok last game. CRZ is actually rivaling that, perhaps even going a little bit better.
Well, he's at 2-0 at 5 minutes. I mean, we did see Korok, I think I got a 1.7 and 2 by about the 15-minute or 18-minute mark. So we'll have to keep tab on that. He hasn't spent any gold. He's got himself some treads, or I mean, a bottle and some boots. But past that, hasn't actually invested in too much. He did give himself a magic wand, actually. Never mind. So he's decided to pick up that magic wand, which we saw Korok eventually get, but it wasn't until a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, he delivered a full completed Ring of Aquila and a magic wand to himself. Of course, being in the mid lane here, CRZ is going to be rushing that bottle a little bit earlier. Good warding here by Nexus. A lot of players in general just forget that, hey, Warriors are done 6 minutes in. You can see Nexus preparing well over time to make sure that the entire map's warded at all times. To not, have any sneaky ganks here by any player. We have the camping of the rune on the top lane. It is going to spawn on the top, so Morphling quite happy. No, unfortunately, he was actually checking bot at the same time. But Venomancer will pick it up, and he will be harassing.
Yeah, and actually, Huck went for that bottom rune at the same time, so I think that maybe a bit of miscommunication there. As Puck definitely doesn't want to have to leave the lane to go check a rune if Morphling's going to be on that exact same rune. I mean, obviously they're going to want to give it to the Morph, so a bit unfortunate there. But Puck does have the bottom. He's got himself some treads. Solar, meanwhile, has got himself Basilius and 300 gold. Getting a little harassed, nice phase there, as we talk about. Doesn't cost any mana anymore, so that's a pretty big little buff there. Sidor, meanwhile, doesn't realize he's not invisible and is going to go down. As Korok ends up getting a kill with Storm Spirit this time. We saw a nice pull. Followed by Crystal Nova. Good placing of the ward there, just out of range of tower. Or a little bit farther out of range of tower. But Sidor not really. He's been a bit too overzealous with how forward he was there.
Yeah, so perhaps we might need an update on that Storm Spirit daily as we see a little bit of adjustment to the build. Pull at level 2 and overload at level 2 as well.
Interesting overload level 2. Yeah, it's not something you see very often. Normally you see go to a Vortex level 3, which allows you to get enough pull to be able to hit every remnant. But opting to go ahead and get that overload. Now, the one thing about this is, of course, overload being level 2 is going to be a lot more powerful against spiraling. So I think it's probably very likely that this is just a straight up, answer to the Brood himself. Now, meanwhile, Enigma gets a kill on Windrunner, despite being trapped in the trees there. I think he actually picked them off as he was trying to take me out.
You should have saw that. That was a fight of Windrunner and 5 getting chased by 2 heroes, sniped a Puck before dying. I think the Windrunner almost survived. Had enough mana for a Windrun on the very last hit. Unfortunately, was not able to pop it. Perhaps buying before dying. That was his choose to spend his APM there. But overall, very nicely played. Anytime you get ganked by 2 and you kill one before dying, well, you've done something correctly. Solera, great play here. Solera, kind of getting the short end of the criticism whenever Quantic loses. Apparently, it's because of him. I've read it on interviews and that, but I personally feel like he's really improving as a player in the competitive scene. I think he's a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen him play a whole lot, so I don't have a whole lot to share in that department. He's actually the only player on Quantic that I don't know much about, so I don't really have much idea there. We do say a blink in here from Puck, or actually an orb in from Puck. It looks like the Panda is going to go down, CRZ gets that last hit as well, as I just see Morphling and think Korok. Meanwhile, last hit Magic taking a bunch of damage. Are they going to get him? No, it looks like Morph is going to survive. They do get the Lich. Venomous Gale just misses Mikey, but it looks like he is going to die to the Puck anyway. So big plays here from zNation, get a number of kills. Winner did get a kill on Enigma through all of that, but a couple more kills at Morphling. He's now up to 3-0 and an assist. So he's working on his own Korok score here.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't hit buyout, Painted Ghost says, but he bought out nonetheless. So that is actually fairly unfortunate. Now, buyout doesn't cost too much gold early on, but he is still saving me. He doesn't have the best start. He probably wanted the bottle, perhaps a phase boot. In either case, he's got none of that. And now regen rooted up on CRZ. He's actually just doing so well at this point, starting to use his bottle and replicate to do a little bit more action when it comes. He's actually going to send his replicate back, or perhaps using it to gank. I'm not too sure what he's sending his replicate to, but he's got one somewhere.
He actually doesn't have one anywhere. His replicate is not.
Bot. It is
more. It does say morph. Okay, where is it?
It's on the bot.
Anyway,
it's yellow on the minimap.
He's also picked himself up an Aquila. Likewise, Painted Gold, of course, on that buyout only cost him 275 gold. Now, you do mention that's not a whole lot of money, but he's not actually getting any last hits right now. Solar, meanwhile, going to take a little bit of harass from CRZ, who has rotated down to the bottom lane. I fully expect him to hang out here for the foreseeable future and just get as many last hits as possible and maybe try and pick off any heroes that come near him. Meanwhile, top Broodmother, those wards have basically completely destroyed him. He is actually losing this lane, which is not something you ever want to hear when you're a Broodmother, is losing lanes. Broodmother is known for being, easily one of the best laners in all of Dota, if not the best, when left to her own devices. Now, the problem is, they've bought those wards and they've killed her and they've taken down the spiderlings. He's harassing Mikey as best he can, but he's also kind of suiciding here.
Yeah, he's also giving Mikey quite a bit of EXP. He is forcing people off the lane, so I don't think he's like missed micro or anything like that, because it is forcing both Crystal Maiden and the Stormster to chase it away. But now, as I say that, he does actually just suicide them. So a little bit unfortunate there. Back in the mid lane, a lot more action here. Puck does have Dream Core ready. Do they want to go and paint and go? That's actually a quite aggressive move, especially to a bandit that can split and turn the tide of the fight immediately.
And there's a Lich and Windrunner there as well, so that's very, very aggressive. That said, Painted Gold is kind of low on HP. If they get another initiation on him and he actually gets an orb and then a silence with that ultimate, he will take him down before he's able to use that ulti himself.
Here comes
Meanwhile, bottom Enigma comes down as well, so this is going to be a bit of a push.
Yep, the Eidolons will split it in a couple more attacks. Tower, fairly healthy in terms of HP, but that ring being turned on, +2 armor for the entire wave, and that's going to force out a Glyph. Nonetheless, the Siege Unit doing some big damage. Here comes Nexus, trying to defend this one up, dropping wards here and there, but that's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, on the mid lane here, top lane, big fight breaking out here. Puck in a little bit of trouble. He's going to phase the last hit. He does here, and now Crystal Maiden trying to port out, and it looks like Sidor blocking himself with a Spiderling. Unfortunately, Crystal Maiden, great TP, survives that one. At the very least, they force people off the lane. Got a kill on Storm, and that's going to slow down his Orchid Rush by a big time. And slowing that Orchid Rush, big deal for that Morphling. Give Morphling more time to go for the Manta or the Lincoln Sphere, whatever he wants at this point. Still don't know what he's going for. Haven't seen any big item privileges just yet.
Yeah, we see 3 heroes here from zNation kind of gathering up here. Solara ran down there, but very wisely decided to back up. They did lose that bottom tier 1 tower, but again, they did lose that Storm Spirit. Or they lost the Storm Spirit and the bottom tier 1 tower, I guess is a better way of putting that. Meanwhile, in the middle, it looks like Morphling is going to start morphing here, but he gets initiated on by the Panda ultimate, but I think he was able to get that morph off just in time and lead. He might survive. We're going to see a waveform to try and dodge, but no, he doesn't cast the waveform. He actually tanks the stun, but I think, yeah, he's going to be able to get away here. He does go ahead and wave a wave. So, Paint not able to get that kill, and Morphling again does manage to survive. He does have that bottle, so he's going to go ahead and bottle up a little bit here, but I think he's just going to go ahead and head back to base anyway, yep.
Yeah, when I saw CRZ waved in, I was like, oh man, great move. He's going to wave in, force out the Panda ultimate, and then just, you know, kind of troll the hell out of it. As we see a gank coming out on the top lane here, pull coming out against the door, but it was a counter gank. Storm Spirit just melts the new coming in from Staliner. Another gank that slows down the Storm's Orchid, and now Mikey will go down as well. 2 kill here for zNation, and that was one of the best baits. Slowly but surely, zNation is coming ahead as they're leading by 6 kills. This game might be going to a 3rd game of the series as you see the goal lead climbing almost out of control.
Yeah, this series could be the story of the Morphling here. As we saw in Game 1, obviously Korok and Quantic used it to great effect, but CRZ having a decent game here himself. He's up to 3-0-1. He's getting a lot of farm in the bottom lane, but really, that Puck has really had a lot of effect after the early phases here. As he's going to get another kill. Last Magic is going to be the next one to fall. We're up to a dominating string on Puck, who is now 4-1-4. A lot of really nice plays, and this gives Brewmiller just enough time to get this tower, perhaps? No, we're going to see double TPs in. Paint comes in here. He's going to go ahead and clap just to try and take down as many Spiralings as he can. Power Shot going to try and get the rest. Nope, actually misses all of them. So no quick gold there, but TP's in does save the tower.
Yeah, Korok at this point have to just farm. I don't think he feels safe at ganking anymore. I think what turned out to be a very safe and for sure gank on top turned out to be very unfortunate. They really need that Orchid to get any kind of... You can't just get Oblivion Staff and go back to BKB. Like, once you buy that first Orchid, you're very invested. Now, as I say that, we've seen in the past where Klinks goes for Oblivion Staff and then back into...
That's a little different.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. But
the primary reason you see is Klinks does need some mana regen. Now, obviously, Storm Spirit needs a lot of mana regen, but with the Klinks, you need that to be able to ensure to use all of your skills all the time, and it allows you to spam your ultimate, get a lot of farm, you know, power down towers, still have Windrun or Skeleton Walk or whatever it's called at all times. So that's a totally different situation. Meanwhile, we see a little stun here from Weak God trying to catch the Elastic Magic. We do see a Shackle Shot missing there, Power Shot missing as well. So Winner just kind of spamming skills, not really accomplishing much.
I want you to look at that morph right now and tell me this is not a grudge morphling match.
Whoa! Ghost Scepter yet again here. This is just straight up counteracting the exact same build that Korok is saying.
No,
anything you can do, I can do better.
I don't think he could do it better. We saw a 19-minute EB.
He was 7-2, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think CRZ is going to have that. Unless he finds like a Rampage.
Well, you know, you never know. He could pick off a couple kills. Maybe he gets a tower. I mean, if he catches the Windrunner and then gets his tower, the Windrunner does have phases and a double damage rune, so any initiations there might be a little difficult. CRZ is going to continue farming up here. He's up to 1,000 gold, so he's getting about a third of the way to that E-Blade.
Yep.
to the Eagle song, which will complete the E-Blade. Meanwhile, Solara very wisely pinging Morphling, saying, "Please come, can we kill this guy?"
He's got a DD, but
yeah, we're gonna see a power shot.
He's completely seen by Observer War. That's right on top of her, so I don't think Morphling's afraid. Meanwhile, though, Broodmother, despite having that fall, like a hard start early on, now has his own Oblivion Staff. And I think he might even finish it before Karok. No, Karok's got his second staff relatively soon. And then we're just a short walk away from Storm starting to become very, very useful. Very valid targets.
Ooh, nice dodge.
The Puck, the Morphling, they could easily kill those two just with a single silence. So, again, very key for him to finish it quick.
Same with Enigma and the Venomancer, obviously. And it's not quite as important that you silence them, but you can prevent the stuns and prevent the Venomous Gale from really harassing you a lot. You can just initiate immediately silence and kill him for sure. So there are a lot of pretty easy targets for the Storm Spirit if he can get to that thing. Now he's only 700 gold away as he is about to buy that second Oblivion Staff relatively soon. He's taking a decent amount of nukes from the Broodmother. He did dodge the previous one with the use of just a little bit of mana. And
also, I mean, you got to keep in mind that anytime the Storm Spirit is farming, the Quantic team doesn't just they just don't do anything. They're trying to get whatever farm they want. But their team, their whole catalyst for the team, catalyst for the gang, is from the Storm Spirit. And you can see that Panda, Windrunner, the Lich, and the Crystal Maiden, they're just kind of stay away. They're not doing anything until the Storm actually plays with them. And
just phases and a bracer on Painted Gold right now. Again, we see a very underfarmed Panda, despite having a much better lane this time.
Well, there was that, I guess, misclick buyback.
There's some good ganks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
meanwhile, takes another nuke here, and he's forced to run back off this lane. He has actually spent that gold. He's sitting at 2.1k, so maybe he is not going to make an Oblivion Staff. And maybe he's not going to finish out Orchid.
Oh, they want to
go for the initiation here. Ooh, this is very aggressive. We see a ward being dropped down. There's going to be the Frostbite. He's trying his best. He doesn't want to get nuked, and he does manage to survive there. And they get that kill, so that's pretty big here. He's going to TP out. Well played from Quark. Taking a bunch of damage from the spiders, though.
And he does have the Orchid now, and that's when the game really starts for the Quantic. And that's been delayed for a long time. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, CRZ in a little bit of trouble. Here comes Panda. Panda doesn't actually have a blink or anything. Like, nice Shackle from Solera. That's a skill play I'm talking about. I don't think they can bring him down. Wait for him. It's going to come in just a bit. They're throwing everything on CRZ. Will that be enough? He's going to get picked up in the air, and then we're going to have yet another round of spells coming in just a bit. Second round of Sun. He is going to Magic Wand. He goes Sceptering up. Where's the Power Shot? Power Shot does miss, though. Oh, no. He does have yet another waveform. There comes the waveform. Will that be enough? They drop everything. Here comes a Black Hole. Last Hit Magic is going to be the target of choice. CRG has that waveform in just a couple of seconds. He sees Solera. He wants Solera. He's going to get Solera. He does a cripping dodge. No, he goes into Mikey. Mikey's going to get himself a kill. Solera gets the last hit in. Man, aggressive play. Here comes a big Storm Zip. He silences. Does he have the mana for the pull? No, he doesn't. I think that might be the misplay here from... Oh, no, that's a miskill.
Oh, Korok balling a little bit too early. Unable to catch that Enigma. But they get a gift. Morphling just suicides. He really wanted Solara. He missed the waveform and immediately got taken down there when he was for sure not going to die. So just a dead giveaway there for Morphling there. As he was 3-on-2, now 3-1-2. A pretty big death there. As we talk about on Morphling, he can't afford any kinds of deaths. It's not a thing that he can deal with. So that was definitely a bit of a break there for Quantic.
Yeah, man, we're also seeing the escape power of Morphling. I mean, he ate the Shackle Shot, he ate a ultimate from the Panda, he ate Chain Frost, and he was surviving.
Let's do that Chain Frost, and it literally hit him once and then bounced off all of those creeps before it hit him the last time. He easily could have taken one more pulse from that Nova, and or from the Chain Frost and died, but he did not. So it's a nice... you're kind of lucky there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows how important that Orchid is, so... that's why I keep harping on it like a broken record. We do see Quantic pushing down that tier 2 mid tower. Here comes the defend from zNation though. Mikey a little bit slow. There's a dream call onto Mikey is going to be the sacrificial lamb as Korok says, see you. And Venomancer picks that one up.
Yeah, he does manage to survive, or rather the Mikey does not survive, he does die. I was just looking at Lich and thinking, is it just me or should he be throwing that orb every time he chains frosts?
What?
Shouldn't he throw it when he chain frost? Shouldn't he be throwing that orb out of his right hand? Like, shouldn't that leave his hand? I feel like it should.
Does it come out of his left hand or something? I'm not sure. What
it doesn't. Korok does pick off Puck there with that stun, but he's gonna get Venomous Gale. He has just enough mana to get down the hill, but he might die to the poison. No, he gets mecha'd up, and I believe he's gonna TP out and survive. Oh, a nice Shackle Shot, just buying enough time there for him to get out of there. So Well played from Solara, managing to save the all-important Storm Spirit.
Yeah, we got to try to do whatever he can. Black Hole wasn't up. He used his tree cutting skill, but that actually just cut trees, so no real damage was done to the Storm. And good job by him actually TPing out. A lot of people would just panic with Storm and try to, zip or something like that, but he's just like, you know what, identifying there's no stun, and he's fine.
Yeah. So we're at a 12-6 advantage now for zNation, but remember that was 9-3 just recently, so traded 3-3, so it evened out just a little bit. Korok up to level 13, just 9 on that Brewmaster, as he is pretty severely under-leveled now. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but Puck's 12, Morphling's 11, Brewmother's 12, Enigma's 12. Venom's the only one he's ahead of at 8, and Panda, he's still very powerful when he gets an ultimate, but he needs to get 11 before that really becomes a thing, and Solara goes down here. Korok goes ahead and pulls CRZ. He is going to manage to get that kill, so he's not going to killing spree. He's going to go out for Puck as well, get himself a double kill. So big plays there from Korok. So they trade a Windrunner for a Puck and a Morphling, and I think they'll take that trade every single time if they can. Especially if Korok's the one getting those kills.
Yeah, whatever the slow start Korok had has been nullified, as every time he got the Orchid, aside from that Enigma kind of mishap on the bottom, he's got so many kills for his team, and that's leveling up Mikey, that's leveling up Painted Gold, that's leveling up everybody. Now Korok almost hitting level 16, 21 minutes in. I think he's probably the highest level in the game. Yeah, he's look at Morphling. Morphling was so high level at this point in the game. Wasn't he like 18?
Yeah,
like 20 minutes.
We were looking at like 28 minutes. He was already level 20, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
He was pretty close to that, to be honest. So Korok yet again having the XP advantage, so he's doing really well and almost just carrying Quantic through both of these games. Now they did start out 9-3. Since then it's just been 4-5, but it's a pretty important pullback here. As you mentioned, Morphling was getting kind of out of hand. They've really stymied him. In order for him to keep up with Korok's pace last game, he's going to need to get 3 kills, but he's going to get silenced here. Initiated on, we're going to see a nuke, and he is going to take a Frostbite and go down, and Korok ends up getting that kill as well. 4-3 now. They have 100% shut down the Morphling now. We talk often about how once you get 3 to 4 kills on Morphling, unless you already have 10, you're going to be in bad shape. They are going to get this middle tier 2, though, so that's something.
But yeah, no, that's 2 kills in a row, and the reason that Morphling can't have a lot of def is because he needs so much farm. Stats are difficult to buy, and he really needs experience as well. He's level 12, level 13 perhaps. Meanwhile, the push happening on top lane. Reverse on the Orchids. Will Korok survive? No, he will not. The question is, will he buy back? Black Hole gets dropped here. Chain Frost is bouncing around, and the tower is focusing on as well. We got Wobie going down. The question is, will Nexus go down first? And the answer is yes. Hell yes, as we see We Got goes down as well. Here comes the Puck blinking in. Gets a kill against Lich as well. Silence is the name of the game here, as whenever there's silence happening, there's so many kills. That's a little bit too late against the Brewmother. Storm Spirit does not buyback here, and I think that's really good control by the Storm Spirit. Does he have buyback? Yeah, he does. A lot of players would just like buyback immediately because he has such explosive power. He could probably have his team to get a couple of kills, but I think not buying back there was the correct choice because he really is the late game of Quantic, as awkward as that sounds.
And he wants to get to that BKB. He's already got himself an Ogre Axe, which is very clearly indicating that is what he's going to go for. So BKB is going to be the item of choice. He's just about to the 1,600 gold mark, so by not buying out, that means that when he resurrects, he's going to have enough to just about pick that up. And, about another 1,600 gold. He's got that BKB, of course. Once he balls in, you'll be able to crack that, and he won't be quite as afraid, of course. By balling in immediately to the Brewmother, he just got hexed or silenced immediately, and that really cost him his life there. So a bit overzealous there from Korok, just jumping in there and really costing him there. So I expect him to be a little bit more cautious, perhaps, although judging by his play last game, that will not occur, as Korok is apparently one of the most aggressive players I've ever seen. He goes right after Nexus and is going to take him down immediately. Man, just the aggressiveness of Korok paying dividends left and right through these games.
I feel like when you play a hero like a Morph, well, not a Morph, but especially a Storm, aggression's the name of the game. I mean, look at G. Look at a lot of the other very successful Storm players. You just gotta go. I mean, sometimes you miss a zip and you miss a kill and you probably die yourself, but more often than not, if you're a professional player, you're getting a lot more kills in return. Which, by the way, EB is finished up, and I think Mikey will be saying hello to it very soon. Oh,
yep. Actually, they do go ahead and take down Korok. He does buy back this time, though, as they do not want to give away that Roshan, but I think it might be a bit later. Roshan does end up getting last hit by the Dire and Lich grabs Jaeger, so a big coup there for Quantic, and it looks like Storm Spirit's going to be showing back up here pretty soon. Where is he at?
His TP scroll was on cooldown, so he can't come in. Two-man Shackle Shot here, and Storm, where the hell is he Storm?
He actually went top and went after the Broodmother, and they ended up getting the Broodmother.
The Raxus were in a little bit trouble.
The buyout was actually to defend top, as they didn't even have Broodmother for that battle. Morphling gets himself an ultra kill, big comeback there. So we saw him at 4-3, now 8-3, and back to where Quaric was last game, despite the XP being a little bit lower. The gold is back up there. He's got that Ethereal Blade. He's at 1,800 gold. So Morphling immediately pulling himself right back into this.
Anytime you're getting your ultra kill, I don't think you have to worry about XP for a little while. Also for the gold, he got his Ethereal Blade. He was sitting at 34 gold or something like that when I checked. Now up to 2k gold, and that's an immediate ultimate purchase. If he wants that, perhaps I think that is the choice to go against that Orchid. Probably going to buy it later after kicking this tier 2. Going to go back to base and bottle the hell out of the regen, and then he's going to come back to his replicate using the global power of that replicate. But here comes the Dire Squad. They want to defend. That tower gets destroyed. Are we going to chase for this? No, we're not. I mean, Stormster will talk about how aggressive he needs to play, but also on the same token, Puck is waiting for him, the Brood is waiting for him, the Nigma's waiting for him. So Korok's got to be very careful about his positioning.
As well as Morphling, who of course with that Ethereal Blade just instantly assassinated him right above that Roshan and just took him down, forced him to buy out to defend top, and really cost him a lot of gold. And now because of that, he doesn't have a BKB that he otherwise would have had. Puck meanwhile orbs up. They're just trying to catch Korok a little bit unassuming there, but it doesn't actually work out for him. That said, Sierra going to continue to farm it up. Actually, checking out the gold chart here, we're up to a almost 13,000 gold advantage for the Radiant.
It doesn't feel like that much, to be honest.
Yeah, and the XP chart equally that high, just almost about 9,000 XP advantage for Radiant. So there's actually a pretty solid advantage for Radiant, despite feeling like Quantic are still in this.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're in it because they're getting so many kills in return. But a very similar situation from zNation in game number 1, where they got off the ganks. Night Stalker was big in that game. I think they had a Darkseer. They were getting big. Or Queen of Pain was absolutely, immortal in that game until the late stages. But they never actually transitioned into any pushes. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing from Quantic here. There's so much pressure on the Storm, or excuse me, on the by the Broodmother on the top lane. Look here, already going on that Rax, and no one's teleporting back. I think this is a gravely mistake. Yeah, there's someone teleporting back right now, and they need to do it immediately. Perhaps another. Look at those Spirelings. Holy crap! They could just send all of them onto the Rax if they want to do so. And Broodmother, I mean, even if she draws Teleport Scroll, that's fine. She's doing her job. Somewhere else on the map, there's someone getting the momentary advantage. And here comes that Shotgun Morphling. He sees blood in the water.
All of the zNation heroes going right up top, and they want to pressure this. There are a couple of from bottom for Quantic. They're going to immediately TP in. Is it going to be fast? It looks like it will be. We're going to see an initiation of Mikey. Almost dies, but he manages to survive through that, and he's going to be able to get away. That's big time. Morphling immediately, or Stormster rather, waveforms in, or rather ball lightnings on the back of his BKB. Catching a number of heroes here. Looks like Puck may be the next to go. Painted Gold does manage to get that ultimate off. Wicked, or Weed God's going to be able to get away, but Plastic Magic and Storm Spirit both go down. CRZ still alive here, get a nice cyclone from the Panda on the Broodmother. Should buy him enough time here, perhaps. Well, nope, not going to be able to catch anything there. So, are they going to be able to defend? They do lose that melee Rax. It looks like Panda's going to go down as well, and so too will the range Raxes, as zNation are starting to exert themselves now.
Yeah, zNation, of course, could use a Spiraling to tank the mid tower as well. In fact, they don't even have Spiraling. They're going to just walk in and tank it like men. Of course, the creep wave comes in a very opportune time. Nice dodge on the Shackle Shot. They're going to try to mow it down as soon as possible. Morphling going back to get some mana at this point here. Don't worry, he'll be right back in this team fight. And Mikey, again, praying right now that he is not the target.
Yeah, Morphling really using his Tinker-esque ability here on the back of his replicate. He's going to immediately replicate right back in, start cooking that melee Rax, and they're going to lose their melee's mid as well. And there's the GG call from Quantic, as it's just too much. Now, my question for you, in game 2, I believe this game Quantic had first pick, and they went for Windrunner. Now, zNation, going into game 3, if Morphling isn't banned, will they first pick it?
I don't know, man. I think you have to.
Right?
I feel like it's one of those poker
Quantic,
games.
Do you ban it?
I feel like it's one of those poker games where you had a big raise, or you had a big call or whatever, and they raise you.
Yeah.
You gotta just go one up on that, right?
But my question is, do Quantic anticipate that and ban it? I mean, do you want to ban
I don't
Morphling
know.
if you have
You're
the
not going to
second pick?
ban the Morphling. You're not going to ban the Morphling.
Surely. But we shall see. So, a 1-to-1 evening out here for zNation. Very well played here in game 2 as they make up for a little bit of their, inopportunities in the early game. Managed to still take it down in the mid game there. So we will be right back in just a sec for game 3.